Imagine standing in a vast, sun-scorched desert, sand stretching endlessly in every direction, the horizon shimmering with heat. The landscape is so barren, so inhospitable, that it feels almost alien, as if life itself has been banished from this place. The air is so dry it steals your breath, parching your throat and lips within minutes. Every step kicks up dust and the relentless sun beats down, making the ground beneath your feet feel like a furnace. This is the Taklamakan, one of the harshest and most unforgiving places on Earth, a true sea of sand, feared by travelers for centuries. Now try to picture millions of fish here, swimming where there should only be dust and heat. It sounds impossible, almost like a mirage conjured by the mind, yet that's exactly what China attempted, releasing a colossal number of fish into the heart of the desert for an entire year, defying logic and expectation. The world watched, baffled and intrigued. Why risk aquatic life in a place defined by its lack of water? What could possibly be gained from such a bold, seemingly reckless experiment? Fish need cool, stable water to survive. Deserts offer only searing heat, dryness, and evaporation. The contrast couldn't be starker. The plan was audacious, a gamble against nature itself. It was a test of human ambition and scientific ingenuity, pushing the boundaries of what we believe is possible. Could human creativity and the resilience of life overcome such overwhelming odds? Could technology and determination rewrite the rules of survival? This wasn't just about fish, it was about transforming a barren wasteland into something new, something alive. It was about hope, and the dream of turning deserts into oases. The stakes were high. Failure would be a costly disaster, a blow to both science and the environment. But success could change how we see deserts, ecosystems, and even the future of food and water security. It was a real-world test of limits, a story of hope, survival, and the relentless pursuit of possibility in the face of adversity. Millions of tiny fish left to battle the desert's fury. Would they perish under the merciless sun, or would life find a way to adapt and thrive in the most unlikely of places? The world held its breath, waiting for the outcome of this wild experiment. Scientists, environmentalists, and ordinary people alike watched, wondering if this bold vision could become reality. Could a lifeless desert become a cradle for new life? Could this experiment spark a revolution in how we reclaim and restore barren lands? This was more than an experiment. It was a challenge to the very rules of nature, a daring attempt to bend the environment to human will and imagination. Would the desert claim its victims as it always has, or would something extraordinary happen, something that would inspire the world? The answer would surprise everyone, revealing just how far hope, science, and determination can go, even in the heart of the furnace. To truly understand this story, you first need to picture the battlefield, the vast, unforgiving Taklamakan Desert in northwest China. Stretching for hundreds of thousands of square kilometers, it's a sea of sand that has challenged travelers and civilizations for centuries. Its very name is a warning. Go in, and you may never come out. For generations, this phrase has echoed in the minds of those living nearby, a reminder of the desert's deadly reputation and the countless who have vanished within its dunes. The Taklamakan is one of the world's largest sandy deserts, notorious for its brutal temperature swings, scorching days, freezing nights, and almost no rainfall. Life here is a constant struggle against the elements, with little shelter from the relentless sun and wind. Along the desert's edge flows the Tarim River, a rare ribbon of life in this arid expanse. For centuries it has been a lifeline, nourishing oases and supporting communities that depend on its waters for survival. But in recent decades, climate change and human activity have threatened the Tarim. As the river dwindled, the desert began to creep forward, swallowing farmland and pushing ever closer to villages. Faced with this growing crisis, the government realized that only a bold, radical solution could halt the advancing sands and restore hope to the region. Their ambitious plan: divert precious river water to create a brand new lake at the desert's edge. This artificial lake would serve as a barrier, a line of defense against the encroaching desert. But this wasn't about simply flooding the desert. The goal was to build a living buffer, a vibrant green barrier that could hold back the sands and transform the landscape. By increasing humidity and supporting the growth of plants, the hope was to stabilize the soil, create new habitats, and stop the relentless advance of the desert. But a lake, no matter how large, is just a body of water if it's empty of life. Without animals, it cannot become a true ecosystem. To truly bring this new lake to life, it needed inhabitants. It needed fish, creatures that could kickstart a food web, attract birds, and help turn this artificial lake into a thriving oasis in the heart of the desert. Not just any fish could survive here. The harsh desert environment, with its scorching days and chilly nights, creates a place where only the toughest creatures can make it. Water is scarce, and what little there is can change temperature and chemistry in the blink of an eye. Scientists needed species tough enough for wild temperature swings and challenging water chemistry. They spent months testing, analyzing, and searching for fish that could handle these extremes. Fish that wouldn't just survive, but thrive. After careful consideration, they chose 4: carp, grass carp, silver carp, and bighead carp. These species are known for being hardy, fast-growing, and incredibly adaptable. They've survived in rivers, lakes, and even polluted waters around the world. Each had a role to play in this delicate experiment. Media: grass carp swimming near aquatic plants, grass carp feeding on underwater vegetation. Grass carp were selected to control the rampant growth of aquatic plants, keeping the ecosystem in balance and preventing overgrowth that could choke the water. Silver and bighead carp were chosen for their ability to filter plankton from the water, helping to keep it clear and healthy. Common carp, meanwhile, would scavenge the bottom, cleaning up debris and recycling nutrients. Together, these 4 species would form a balanced food web, each supporting the others and creating a stable, self-sustaining ecosystem. Around 20 million fry, tiny, newly hatched fish, were released into the desert lake. This wasn't just a small-scale test, it was a bold, full-scale intervention aiming to tip the odds in favor of life. The idea was simple, but ambitious. Overwhelm the harsh environment with sheer numbers, giving the population a real fighting chance to establish itself. These fish weren't just dumped in at random. They were carefully selected ecological engineers, chosen for their resilience and their ability to shape their new home. Their mission was clear: transform a sterile, lifeless lake into a vibrant living ecosystem teeming with activity and diversity. Their survival would depend on teamwork, adaptation, and the ability to respond to whatever challenges the desert threw at them. Could these remarkable fish really turn a barren desert puddle into a thriving, sustainable lake full of life? The experiment was about to begin, and the world was watching to see if nature and science could pull off the impossible. The release day was surreal. Trucks carrying millions of wriggling fry arrived at the desert's edge. Teams carefully released the fish into the new reservoir, a river of life pouring into the sands. For the fry, it was a leap from hatchery comfort to the wild unknown. Their instincts had to kick in fast, find food, adapt, survive. The goal was ecological restoration, using a thriving lake to change the local climate. A healthy lake could boost humidity, help plants grow, and anchor the soil against wind. The fish were the key to keeping the water alive. Without them, the lake would stagnate. With them, it could become an oasis. The plan: leave the fish undisturbed for a year, letting nature take its course. It was a bold, hands-off experiment. Would the fish survive the desert's test? The world would have to wait. The countdown began. The fish faced immediate, brutal challenges. Daytime heat baked the lake's surface, at night temperatures plunged. Only the hardiest could survive these swings, seeking deeper, cooler water by day and enduring the chill by night. The water itself changed. Evaporation concentrated salts, making it harsher. The fish had to adapt to new chemistry, far from their hatchery origins. Food was scarce. The ecosystem was just starting. Millions of fry competed for limited resources, a true survival of the fittest. Predators arrived too. Desert birds saw the lake as a feast. The fish had to learn to hide, dodge, and outsmart threats from above. Every day was a battle against heat, hunger, water quality, and predators. Only the strongest, smartest, and luckiest would make it. Their first year was a relentless test. Would any survive? The answer would shape the desert's future. As months passed, the lake and its fish were left alone. Seasons changed. Scorching summers, freezing winters. The surface could ice over, cutting oxygen and testing the fish further. Scientists watched from afar, resisting the urge to intervene. The experiment's goal: see if a self-sustaining ecosystem could emerge. Losses were inevitable. Only the best adapted survived. The survivors grew stronger, breeding a new generation born to the desert. The ecosystem evolved. Fish waste fed plants and algae. Filter feeders kept the water clear. Grass carp managed vegetation. A web of life slowly formed beneath the surface. The lake was no longer just water, it was alive. The world waited, wondering. Had the desert claimed another victim, or had a miracle occurred? The answer was coming. After a year, it was time for the big reveal. Teams cast their nets, bracing for disappointment or a miracle. What they found was astonishing. Nets teeming with large, healthy carp. The fish hadn't just survived, they'd thrived, growing to market size. The population was strong, breeding, and self-sustaining. The desert had become a cradle, not a tomb. The harvest was a triumph. Tons of fish, new jobs, and hope for the local community. The project turned barren sand into a productive fishery. The world took notice. The desert was now producing life. Careful planning, the right species, and bold thinking had paid off. Life, given a chance, had flourished. The fish were just the beginning. The healthy lake changed the desert's microclimate, acting as a giant humidifier. Moisture in the air let plants take root. Grasses, reeds, and shrubs formed a green belt. These plants anchored the soil, halting the advance of sand dunes. The new oasis attracted birds, insects, and wildlife, creating a vibrant ecosystem. Migratory birds found a vital stopover, some rare or endangered. The air filled with birdsong, the landscape with life. The project proved a key ecological principle: build a foundation, and life will come. Water and fish sparked a chain reaction, turning desert into oasis. The outcome wasn't just survival, it was the birth of a thriving ecosystem. A true ecological miracle born from a wild idea. What's the lesson from this desert fish saga? It's a story of resilience, bold thinking, and nature's tenacity. Millions of fish, left in a hostile desert, not only survived, they transformed it. The project shows we're not helpless against desertification. With creativity and ecological understanding, we can reclaim lost land. The key: work with nature, not against it. The fish weren't just survivors, they were ecosystem engineers. The experiment began as an unbelievable gamble and ended as a beacon of hope. A barren wasteland became a vibrant oasis. The image of fish thriving in the Taklamakan is a powerful symbol of what's possible when we dare to dream big.